today. But anyhow, I have you back to talk a little bit more about Magic.
Oh man, love it.
Okay, good. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll have you start.
Okay. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is I won't say one of my favorite parts of the game, but let's talk about land destruction.
Oh my God.
I love land destruction.
I hate land destruction.
So, I don't know if I have it. I don't think I have it set up at this point, but...
You want to get me salty playing a game of Magic? You want me salty? Destroy some land. I don't mind wastelands when it's specifically targeting like a troublesome permanent. Like,
okay.
I need you to stop sending that unblockable creature over, so I need to destroy your Rogue's Passage.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
But if you have...
Well, what about Armageddon? Okay, I'll send my land with it. Is that okay?
Nope.
No. No.
Hate it.
Really?
Can't stand it.
Okay.
No, any overarching land destruction strategy is designed, well, I shouldn't say designed, but one of the core tenets of the game is you need lands to play it.
Okay.
Now granted, there's some strategies where you need very, very few lands.
Yeah.
And possibly almost none.
Okay.
But for the most part, especially most kitchen table games that we play,
right,
you need your lands to play.
Right.
I'm not interested in playing solitaire and watching people just do all the things. I'm sitting here on no lands, drawing a card, cursing my luck, and it doesn't matter anyway because by that time the other person is probably so far ahead. Yeah. So and keep in mind, a lot of my conversation about it comes through the lens of playing Commander, right?
Okay.
Because I'm thinking along the lines of a multiplayer game with you and some other folks,
right?
Playing Commander, and so I even built.
I love that. That was awesome. I loved your land.
I built one land destruction deck. I played it once.
You played it once,
and I tore it apart.
And luckily, I was playing Lord Windgrace, so lands in my graveyard didn't really matter too much.
Not a problem for you.
Now, I didn't bring this up just to see you so wonderfully animated as I am right now, though I appreciate that too. I did bring it up though because I play Arena.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know, but I'm going to be Mythic. I'm going to achieve Mythic in Arena. So. I'm going to.
That's a goal.
Haven't yet.
That's a goal.
It is a goal.
Okay,
it's
good goal.
Just a goal. It's a goal.
All right.
I'm not worried even about the Mythic Invitational or anything like. Just I want to hit Mythic. I don't want to be the top 1,000 Mythic. Just let me hit Mythic just once. I came so close. Anyhow, you can see previous episodes to know that I've talked about that. It just so happens though that one of my the decks that I'm playing. I've talked about with Enrique with this. There's one deck which I hate to win. And it's not that I hate to win. It's
I was about to say you hate to win?
To win, yes. I put all of my hate, all of my anger, all of my venom into one deck, and I started winning. Therefore, I hate to win. I joined the dark side. I then followed that up with a land destruction deck.
Okay, so the deck that you hate to win with...
No, the deck is called I Hate to Win.
Okay.
Yeah, so
but that's your land destruction deck?
No, that is not. My land destruction deck, and you've already touched on this, it's called the GameStop deck. Because I effectively stop you from playing the game what happens.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Yes,
that sounds like a great time for me.
So, I don't play that. I play that on Arena, no. I play that against other opponents. I don't generally play that in real life. There have been situations or whatever where it's come up, and I am a fan of land destruction. I am. Not a fan of it.
So I want to say something. If you're playing like in a 60-card competitive format and your strategy is land destruction, I think I have less heartburn over that. Right? If you're playing competitively and for example, you're playing on Arena and you're trying to rank up.
Right.
I have not downloaded Arena. I've never played.
Oh, never?
Nope, not once.
That kills me, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm not going to be able to speak very intelligently about anything around Arena.
Okay, so...
But going back to the land destruction idea here is, again, I'm talking or thinking it through the lens of a multiplayer game.
Right.
And in a multiplayer game, You want people building their board states and doing like wild and crazy things.
Right.
You know, that's for me really enjoyable to watch big swingy things happen.
Right.
And you're not doing that if you've destroyed somebody's, land.
If you've effectively reduced their ability to play. We talked about this earlier when, at least Enrique and I did and stuff, when we talked about his Nekozar deck. And not that was necessarily salty about it, but when I thought about it, Nekozar denied me my right to play Magic as far as I was concerned. You messed with my ability to draw cards. How dare you? I'm here to draw cards and play cards.
He lets you draw more cards.
No, it's draw two, take two. You're messing with something that's sacred. So I'm not saying this is what you said, but it's sort of like that. You're taking away a tenet of the game. You're taking away one of the things that allows me to play that. So understandable. Now getting on to Arena.
Okay.
I think everybody should play Arena. I absolutely do.
You've been enjoying it?
I love it, and I've probably played enough for both of us already. But what I do enjoy about it, there's a few things that, for if you've been out of the game for a while, and you haven't played one-on-one or whatever, there's other variations you can play on here too. But it is all mostly standard, and it is all, well, I want to say geared towards selling more cards or whatever. The thing that it's allowed me to do, though, is fine-tune my decks. I talked before, last episode, about I very much hands-on. I have to touch, I have to feel, I have to see what happens. Like, okay, I can't touch the cards on Arena, but I can play with them and I can see how they interact. And I have a hard time following the meta of Magic, that's out there. But with Arena, I can experience it.
Right.
And I can get you know what I mean? I'm not keeping in touch with what the pros are doing and stuff. I know the stats are out there. I know I could watch it. I could see the games and so on. Like you said, it's an esport at this point. You can watch it, see it being played. But for me, I'd much rather be doing it. I'd rather be playing.
Well, and that's one of the great things about Arena is that you're in the comfort of your own home and you can just fire it up and get into a game.
Exactly. Anytime, day or night.
So you get exposure to a lot more games.
Yeah.
And that's probably true for every, for every electronic game.
Probably,
every paper game that's converted to an electronic medium.
Yeah.
So, I get that.
And for me, that has been a boon, and it's allowed me to make and play, I think, more efficient decks outside in paper. You know what I mean? It's allowed me to build better decks that were more, and again, not necessarily competitive, but more interactive. Actually more interactive because they're more focused and they're doing more of the things that they should. But anyhow, I just wanted to know your general feeling on land destruction, though I had a suspicion what it was going to be.
We've talked about this, not in front of a camera, but we've talked about it before.
Sure, absolutely. Here's something we hadn't talked about.
I'm not sure I could get off this whole land. I got this funk all over me. I got to go take a shower. Then we can continue this because I don't know. That's how I feel about land destruction. That's it.
That strongly. Well, moving on to something else and talking about cleaning up. Okay, I've talked about the fact that I've got thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Magic cards. You've recently gone through your collection, I know, and just organized it, cleaned it up, straightened it up. Tell me what you did there.
Oh man. So this was a bit of an undertaking. I went through all the cards I cared about.
Okay.
So like you, I've got tens of thousands of cards, and a great deal of it is bulk that's just in long white boxes that I don't know what to do with. I don't know if I should turn them in. I don't know if I should throw them away. But I can't part with any of it. So they're just in like 900, I think, count long boxes.
Okay,
the long white boxes.
Sure, yeah.
But outside of that, I probably have 30 or 40 commander decks, and just as many, if not more, of a combination of what used to be standard and modern and legacy decks as well.
Right.
So, and I've got some pre-mades that I'll play, and if somebody's getting introduced to the game, I'll put a pre-made in front of them and in front of me, so we have similar power level,
sure.
and they can get a flavor of playing Magic.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what cards I had and where they are.
Right.
And so I put together an Excel spreadsheet that lists every card, the set it's from, the quantity of them, where they're located, whether it's in a standard deck or whether it's in a commander deck, and of course I have plenty of storage at home too. So maybe is it in the brown folder? Is it in the War of the Spark box? Is it in the burgundy folder or whatever the case may be? So yeah, and I think from the cards I'm tracking like 11,000 cards. So it was I would go take a commander deck apart and just that one commander deck, I would list all the artifacts on one tab, and all the planeswalkers on another, and the creatures on another, and the lands on the other, and I did that for my entire collection. Took about I don't know, it took 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And
some dedication, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm going to do that again.
Well, I'm disappointed because I thought you would have some advice for the bulk and the chaff. Because that's the majority of what I have is the bulk
I don't know
and
what to
the
do with all that
chaff.
stuff.
But I just can't get rid of it.
I can't get
Like
rid
I
of it.
said, do I need 25 8th edition Hill Giants?
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably never going to use them. Don't see them being collector's items at any point, but I am loath to pass a Magic card up and give it away. So, well, that's too bad. One of the other things that I want to talk about then, since we're going to move on from that, is how do you grade your decks? So, for example, I'll look at a
They're all
deck.
A's, Mike.
They're all A's?
They're all graded A.
They're all A's?
Grade A.
Okay, see,
They're all fantastic.
B's, C's. Even my good ones will say the Freya Elise deck, like I grade that. That's probably a 10 power level, and then it's -3 because I'm piloting it. So that's maybe a 7. So that's how I look at my decks.
Really? Okay, interesting.
There's a certain amount of truth to that and stuff.
Okay.
But no, on a power level of like 1 to 10, do you grade your deck? How do you keep track of your decks, or do you keep track of them?
So from a 60 card constructed format, especially if I'm building a modern or legacy deck, I'm probably building something that I would consider tier 1.
Okay.
Right, something that's competitive in the metagame during that particular period. I might see something like Legacy Reanimator. I don't know why something compelled me to build a Legacy Reanimator deck. Now, I don't know how competitive that is, but I would say it's close. If it's not, it's close to a tier
maybe
1
a 1.5 or whatever.
Yeah, really close to that. When it comes to commander decks, I have a totally different lens on that sort of thing.
Okay.
I just think I really put it into the 3 categories. One being, this is a really powerful deck. I really need to play against other really powerful decks. If you're going to pull a pre-con out, it's not going to be a very fair, balanced game.
Right.
Then there's kind of a middling power deck, something between that and a pre-con. And then I have what I consider pre-con powered decks, which are, I don't consider pre-cons low by any means, but certainly not tuned.
Right. There you go. That's a pretty good way of describing it, I think. Do you have any decks to attach to that? What would you say would be one of your tier 1 decks, or your top tier, rather, commander decks?
Muldrotha's pretty strong.
Yeah.
As long as you're not playing too much graveyard hate. Oh my goodness, I can't. The deck escapes me. The commander escapes me. That's the one. It's like 7 or 8 casting costs, and you cascade and cascade again.
Oh, right.
And I can't believe that this...
Magically, that card will probably appear on the screen between us. Just off the top of my head. But yes, okay, so that would be your mid-level deck, you would think?
Yeah. Also, that's a very top-tier deck.
Okay.
That can win pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, these decks are designed for multiplayer decks.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily consider them competitive for like a 1v1 commander type of interaction, but how often do we do that? Usually
that's until somebody else shows up or whatever.
When I'm playing commander, I want to play with 2 or 3 other players.
Right.
I want it to be multiplayer.
Right.
So these are powerful in a multiplayer kind of format.
Right.
Now I will say this: I don't play with infinite recursion, not life or mana or tokens of some sort.
Right.
I intentionally do that because I think it violates one of the basic tenets of Commander. So while I have no problem creating a very powerful deck, I won't have any infinite combos in them.
Okay, so you'll avoid them completely.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, if I have one, it's accidental.
Okay, because that's what I was going to say. I've been surprised by some of the interactions that my deck have had, not even realizing necessarily what was in there.
Right. I've had that happen too.
You come across something, you're like, oh my gosh, if I do this, it's going to go off indefinitely. Okay, okay, fair enough. So
what about you?
So
what's your feeling about infinite combos and Commander?
I love them. I'm okay with them.
Are you?
As much as I hate some of the things, I'm trying not.
How do you feel about Planeswalkers?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. So, now that we've opened up that door, exactly, now that we've opened that door, infinite combos, I'm fine with them. If I played against them regularly, I might feel differently. But if somebody, I don't have a problem with somebody else having them in the deck. If it happened on a regular basis, I might change that. But I'm of the opinion that I'm happy to see somebody.
Gears turning.
I'm happy to see something that I've never seen before in the game.
I'm going to get him to hate infinite turns.
I doubt that.
I'm going to make some Commander decks just for you, Mike.
Okay, that's awesome. I hope they work as well as the land destruction did. But because I think that Magic has a way of playing around everything. Now, if it becomes an arms race, if it becomes us just like having to battle it out or whatever and stuff, that's where I think where the fun is lost.
Right.
I
feel infinite combos create solitaire.
Yeah.
Where one person is looking at another person do all the things, and that's no fun for me. Even doing it is no fun for me.
Okay.
So that's why I stay away from it. I don't want the other person doing it. I want interaction. I want big, wild, especially Commander. Maybe not necessarily in 60 card decks. I have no problem smacking you around with an infinite combo.
Right.
But in Commander, I want big swingy things happening. I want you interacting with, I want your deck doing what your deck is supposed to do.
Right.
I want my deck to be doing what it's supposed to do, and I want wild and swingy things to happen, and let the chips fall
where they may. Okay, fair enough.
With me winning.
For the infinite combo thing, for me, it's no different than any other combo deck, really. I don't see it as anything other than somebody else getting a synergy between their deck and getting another combo out. It's no different to me. Maybe if I thought more along the lines of breaking up people's combos, but I've seen, just in general, in games, I've seen people that get these combos that while they may not be infinite, they're absolutely so oppressive that they might as well be infinite.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, there's not much of a delineation between that. But again, whatever. Then it's up to me to find a way to break it. Would a simple disenchant do the trick? If I can nail their one combo piece that
sure,
and keeps them from doing that.
Usually, people who like to play combos and want to go infinite. Usually they have a level of redundancy in their deck that makes it difficult for just one
thing to break it up. Yeah,
things to break it up.
Yeah.
And it's finding the right answers is challenging.
Yeah.
Especially in Commander decks.
Yes, it can be. It can be, unless you build towards that way. And I do think that if you have to build to beat a specific player or a specific deck type, then that gets away from the spirit of the game, because again, in the end, it's about having fun, and like you said, it's about doing the big swingy things. And even if your combo is infinite, I'd love to see you get it off once. I want to see you do it again, and I'm going to do everything I can to stop you from doing it again. But fair enough,
All right.
So it seems like you had something else that you wanted to mention. Well, first of all, you brought up the Planeswalkers. Do we attack that now, or do we?
I think we can keep that for another time.
We'll keep that for another time. I'm actually going to be discussing that again with Enrique the next episode that I film.
Fair enough.
But I'll share it with you later too.
I have a question for you, Mike.
Yes.
Think back over the last number of months or years, and share with me and your audience, like a memorable time playing Magic.
A memorable time?
Yeah, like, can you think of do you have a favorite memory or a favorite thing that happened that or a game that you played which was has a certain significance for some reason?
There's a few. There are a few. Most recently, I had brought it up earlier, whether it was this episode or the previous one and stuff. Even this last week playing Commander with Freya Elise and stuff. Wasn't a big deal, but like I managed to pull, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 mana out of 8 lands or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I got to do big things. That's one thing. So my Dire Fleet Ravager, 84 points of life sucked away in an instant.
Oh man.
Now that was 4 different people's life, and 23 of it or whatever was mine. So that, I think I lost that game too. But I did something, and it was something I'd never seen before, but I think that was probably the largest life total loss that I was responsible for.
Was that the game where, is that your commander that you have Eminence?
Yes, I have Eminence or whatever, and that was one thing, but then I also had, but I also had a Panharmonicon on the field.
Oh dear God.
So yeah.
Disgusting.
So
Disgusting.
4 Dire Fleet Ravagers in a single turn, and zoop, there went all that life.
What is it, 1/3 of your life?
1/3 of your life rounded it up, I think.
Yeah, rounded up. Ugh.
The other one, and I actually do think I won this one, so it's like 2-3 at this point. Managing to get 3 fireballs for like 57 points or something off of 8 land. That was impressive.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember we were sitting at McDonald's. It was you and Enrique.
Oh, one of those? Okay.
Yeah, and Enrique got all 3 of those fireballs for himself.
We'll play wherever we can, folks.
Exactly.
If there's a table,
and somebody has some cards with them, or we'll bring cards, yes. And so I managed to do some shenanigans with that deck, that Wart the Raid Mother deck, and I managed to pull off some shenanigans.
That's right.
Yeah,
we just rudely interrupted.
I'll be using that technical difficulties video again. I haven't had to have that for a couple of episodes, but I was going on and on and on about my Wart the Raid Mother and stuff, and that interaction and stuff. That was one of the more memorable ones that I had. One of the more memorable. But you asked me about that, so that was some of that.
Yeah. So that's my favorite Magic games are when again, through the lens of Commander,
right,
is when big swingy things are happening,
right,
and everybody's got 8, 10, 12 mana, maybe more,
right,
and they're casting big spells and doing big things and dramatically altering the board state from turn to turn,
right,
and we were talking about favorite games of Magic, and I can't remember, Mike, if it was with you or with another player, but there was a game where it was a 1v1 Commander.
Okay.
We were playing with decks that weren't designed to be 1v1.
Right.
So it's not like they weren't linearly focused.
Right.
Like a 1v1 deck often is.
Right.
And so that allows time to develop a board state, and then it allows you to start doing the big swinging things. And in this particular game, I think for like 3 turns, 3 full
consecutive
turns.
Three, yeah.
Like my turn, your turn would be 1 turn. And
right.
over the course of
so
6 turns,
right.
big swingy things happened every turn, and it just the whole game turned on a dime each time. And I ended up losing that game, but it's still one of my most memorable games.
That was it, yeah.
I just really enjoyed how that game played, even though I was on the
losing end of it. Something else that we talked about briefly off camera, though, but it's like the same thing with poker. You remember the bad beats that you take, but you don't remember the big winning hands, or you don't remember the times that you beat somebody else maybe mercilessly necessarily.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Yeah, those aren't the things that stick in there. So
no bad beat stories here, people.
What did that note there? Did we cover that already?
That was what we just.
That was what we just covered. All right. Well, fair enough. Well, I say we play a little bit of Magic.
I'm down.
All right. Let's
play
do
it.
that then.